Good morning, everyone. Today we talk about something that quietly shapes greatness, fuels long-term success, and separates dreams from reality. Self-discipline. Self-discipline is not punishment. It's the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the bridge between your goals and their achievement. Many people want success, wealth, health, or peace, but few are willing to pay the price. That price is self-discipline. Every successful person you admire didn't reach that level by accident. Behind every trophy, every achievement, every breakthrough is someone who said no to excuses, temptations, and distractions. They didn't always feel motivated, but they were always disciplined. Discipline is showing up when no one is watching. It's waking up early to work out, staying late to finish a task, choosing water over soda, silence over anger, action over procrastination. Discipline builds consistency, and consistency builds momentum. Once you master the art of self-discipline, you gain control over your habits, emotions, and ultimately your destiny. You must be stronger than your excuses. Motivation may get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. Self-discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means failing forward. It means training your mind to lead and not be led by comfort or cravings. The truth is, your success is not owned, it's leased, and rent is due every single day. Absolutely. Here is an expanded version of the first key point. 1. Discipline is greater than motivation. Many people begin their journey toward a goal filled with excitement and a surge of motivation. That fire at the beginning feels powerful. It pushes you to act, to move, to strive. But the hard truth is that motivation is fleeting. It fluctuates based on your mood, environment, and external circumstances. One bad day, one tough moment, and that motivation can vanish without warning. This is where discipline steps in. Not as a replacement, but as the foundation. Discipline is what remains when the emotions fade. It's a deeper, more reliable force than motivation. Where motivation says, I feel like doing this, discipline says, I do it because I said I would. If motivation says, I do it because I said I would, it doesn't rely on inspiration or convenience. It operates on commitment and principle. Discipline is a contract with yourself that you honor regardless of how you feel. Think of top athletes, successful entrepreneurs, or anyone who has accomplished something remarkable. They don't wake up every day eager or inspired. What they do consistently is show up, train, work, and repeat, no matter what their emotional state is. This isn't because they're superhuman. It's because they've trained their minds to follow through, not based on how they feel, but based on what they've decided. Motivation may help you lift the first weight, run the first mile, or write the first page, but discipline is what keeps you lifting, running, writing, and progressing. Discipline pushes you through the mundane, the boring, the hard, and the exhausting. It teaches you to respect the process, not just the reward. And the irony is, when you lean into discipline over and over, something remarkable happens. Motivation returns, but now it's not a spark. It's a byproduct of progress. The results born from discipline begin to fuel fresh energy, inspiration, and inner strength. This is the loop that high performers live in, not one fueled by constant external hype, but by quiet, powerful discipline. Certainly. Here's an expanded version of the second key point. Self-discipline builds strong habits. At the core of every successful life lies a pattern of strong, consistent habits. These habits are not random. They're the result of deliberate, disciplined actions repeated over time. Self-discipline is the force that forms these habits. It's the mechanism that turns intention into routine, and routine into lifestyle. When you rely on willpower alone, it becomes a constant mental battle. But when you use discipline to establish habits, those battles begin to disappear. What once felt hard becomes automatic. You don't have to think twice about waking up early, going to the gym, managing your time, or saying no to distractions, because discipline has trained your mind to respond with action instead of hesitation. Strong habits free you from decision fatigue. You're not stuck debating whether or not to do something. You've already built it into your day. This makes your life more efficient, more productive, and more focused. Successful people don't waste energy on deciding whether to do the right thing. They've disciplined themselves to do it without question. Self-discipline also adds structure to your life. With structure comes clarity. You begin to prioritize what truly matters. You plan your mornings with intention, you protect your evenings from mindless activity, and you move through your day with a sense of purpose. Habits like reading, journaling, exercising, and strategic goal setting don't just happen. They are shaped through the discipline of consistent repetition. Discipline makes the uncomfortable familiar. In the beginning, waking up early or working on something difficult feels unnatural, but the brain is wired to adapt. Through repetition, discomfort becomes routine, and what once was hard now becomes your default mode. Every time you repeat a disciplined action, you reinforce a neural pathway. Eventually, your habits begin working for you, not against you. And it's important to understand that these small, disciplined acts may not yield instant results, but they compound. Like drops of water filling a jar, disciplined habits build momentum over time. Missed workouts, skipped planning, wasted hours, those are gaps in your foundation. But each disciplined act strengthens it. You don't need to overhaul your life in one massive burst. You need small, consistent, daily choices anchored by discipline that reinforce who you are becoming. Certainly, here's an expanded version of the third key point. Section 3. Delayed gratification is power. In a world driven by instant results and quick fixes, the concept of delayed gratification stands as a true measure of self-mastery. It's the ability to resist the lure of short-term pleasures in favor of long-term goals. And it's one of the most powerful outcomes of self-discipline. When you delay gratification, you're not depriving yourself. You're investing in something greater. You're choosing purpose over impulse. Every moment of temptation, whether it's skipping a workout, spending money impulsively, binge-watching hotness instead of working, or eating junk food when you're trying to stay healthy, is an opportunity to practice delayed gratification. These choices seem small in the moment, but over time they shape your future. Each time you choose discipline over desire, you're telling your mind and body that your future is more important than your feelings. The truth is, most people live in reaction mode. They seek comfort, ease, and pleasure right now, regardless of the long-term cost. That's why they quit when things get hard, or chase distractions that sabotage progress. But those who understand delayed gratification develop an internal strength that makes them unstoppable. They are not led by emotion, they are led by vision. Scientific research backs this up. Studies, like the famous marshmallow test, have shown that children who delayed gratification, waiting for 2 treats later instead of 1 now, grew up to have better life outcomes, higher academic achievement, stronger relationships, and greater emotional resilience. That same principle applies to adults. Your ability to wait, to work patiently toward a goal without needing immediate reward, is one of the most accurate predictors of success in any area of life. Delayed gratification trains your brain to see beyond the present moment. Instead of trading your future for a fleeting thrill, you begin to play the long game. You focus on building wealth rather than spending every dime. You focus on mastering a skill instead of chasing shortcuts. You focus on personal growth instead of chasing superficial validation. And every time you choose to delay gratification, you are reinforcing your belief that you are worthy of something bigger than what the present moment is offering. This mindset gives you an incredible psychological edge. You no longer fear discomfort. You understand its value. You start to associate pain with growth, struggle with transformation, and patience with power. You become someone who doesn't just chase goals, but builds a lifestyle that supports them. The power of delayed gratification doesn't lie in what you resist, it lies in what you're making space for. Better health, greater achievements, deeper fulfillment, and a life lived on your own terms, certainly. Here's the expanded version of the 4th key point. 4. Discipline is the ultimate self-respect. At its core, discipline is more than just a tool for achieving goals. It's a deep act of self-respect. It's a declaration that your future, your potential, and your well-being matter enough to be protected and prioritized. When you practice self-discipline, you are choosing to honor the commitments you've made to yourself. And there is no greater form of self-respect than keeping your word to yourself. Think about it. We often go out of our way to keep promises to others because we don't want to let them down. But how often do we break the promises we make to ourselves? We say we'll start the gym on Monday, wake up early, finish that project, eat healthier, or stay focused. But then we justify quitting with excuses. Over time, these repeated self-betrayals erode our confidence and self-worth. We begin to doubt our own ability to follow through. That's why discipline is so powerful. It reverses this damage. Each act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about showing up for your future self. When you say, "I'm tired, but I'll stick to my budget," or "I'm tempted, but I'll stick to my budget," you're sending a clear message to your inner self. I matter, my goals matter, my life matters. And that message builds integrity, strength, and self-trust. Discipline allows you to live in alignment with your values. It bridges the gap between your intentions and your actions. It transforms wishful thinking into real progress. When you are disciplined, you are no longer ruled by momentary cravings or outside influences. Instead, you operate from a place of purpose and conviction. You start to make decisions not based on how easy or enjoyable they are, but on whether they serve the person you're committed to becoming. And this respect extends beyond routines or productivity. It touches every part of your life. You start setting healthier boundaries in relationships. You become more mindful of what you consume, mentally, emotionally, physically. You speak to yourself with more compassion, not because everything is perfect, but because you're doing the work. Discipline becomes your way of taking responsibility for your life without waiting for someone else to rescue or validate you. It's not glamorous. It doesn't always feel good, but discipline builds something stronger than comfort. It builds self-respect that doesn't need approval. It gives you the quiet confidence of someone who knows they can rely on themselves, even in chaos, even in fatigue, even when no one's watching. Certainly. Here's the expanded version of the fifth key point. 5. Every choice shapes your character. Every single decision you make, no matter how small, plays a role in defining the kind of person you are becoming. Whether you realize it or not, your daily choices are constantly building your identity. Each moment you choose action over excuse, commitment over comfort, or purpose over procrastination, you reinforce the traits of discipline, integrity, and resilience within yourself. Self-discipline isn't just about big, life-changing moments. It's about the seemingly minor, repetitive decisions you face every day. Do you get out of bed when the alarm rings, or hit snooze for the 5th time? Do you stick to your workout routine, or push it to tomorrow again? Do you stay focused during your work hours, or scroll endlessly through distractions? These decisions might feel insignificant, but compounded over time, they define the difference between mediocrity and excellence. Your character is like a sculpture, and every choice is a chisel. With each disciplined choice, you are carving a version of yourself that is stronger, more reliable, and more aligned with your values. Discipline teaches you that your behavior isn't dictated by emotion or external circumstances. It's guided by your internal compass. When you consistently choose what is right over what is easy, your character develops a kind of strength that cannot be faked or borrowed. These moments also teach you accountability. You begin to understand that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are a product of your choices. You stop blaming your environment, your upbringing, or your situation, and start taking ownership of your decisions. That shift is powerful. It moves you from a reactive mindset to a proactive one. You realize that you are in control of how you respond, how you behave, and ultimately, who you become. Every act of discipline, no matter how small, tells your subconscious mind that you are capable, trustworthy, and focused. Over time, this builds a deep inner confidence, not the kind that needs to be displayed or validated by others, but the quiet certainty that you can handle whatever comes your way. And this character you build, one choice at a time, becomes the foundation for lasting success, healthy relationships, meaningful work, and a life driven by purpose rather than impulse. Even when no one is watching, your choices matter. In fact, that's when they matter most, because the person you are when no one is looking is the truest reflection of your character. Self-discipline is not about living perfectly, but about living intentionally, It's about recognizing that every decision is a chance to either step toward your best self or retreat into old patterns. The direction is always in your hands. Certainly. Here's the expanded version of the sixth key point. 6. Environment affects discipline. Self-discipline is often seen as purely internal, a battle between your willpower and your impulses. While that's partly true, there's another powerful influence that's often underestimated: your environment. The spaces you live and work in, the people you surround yourself with, and even the digital content you consume, all of these shape your ability to stay disciplined. If you don't intentionally design your environment to support your goals, you're constantly swimming upstream. Your environment can either make self-discipline easier or much harder. Imagine trying to eat healthy while your kitchen is filled with junk food, or attempting to focus while your phone buzzes with constant notifications. In such situations, discipline isn't just about mental strength, it's about making it harder to fail and easier to succeed. A well-structured environment acts like a silent partner, reinforcing your good habits and removing temptation from your path. Start by looking at your physical space. Is it clean, organized, and designed for focus? Or is it cluttered, chaotic, and full of distractions? Even simple changes like preparing your workout clothes the night before, keeping your phone out of reach during work sessions, or creating a designated space for reading and reflection can dramatically increase your ability to follow through. The more friction you remove from positive actions, and the more resistance you add to negative ones, the more naturally discipline will flow. But it's not just your space. The people you allow into your life play an equally important role. Discipline thrives in a culture of support, accountability, and growth. If you're surrounded by people who lack ambition, mock your goals, or constantly encourage laziness, your discipline will constantly be under attack. But if you're in the company of individuals who push themselves, speak with intention, and value growth, you rise with them. Their habits, energy, and mindset influence yours, often without you even realizing it. Digital environment matters too. The content you consume shapes your thoughts and emotions. Scrolling through negativity, endless entertainment, or comparison-driven platforms can slowly erode your focus and motivation. On the other hand, intentionally following creators, educators, and thought leaders who align with your goals can help reinforce your discipline by keeping your mind engaged, inspired, and on track. Creating a disciplined, supportive environment isn't about living in a bubble or being rigid. It's about being intentional with your inputs. You begin to design your life around what you value, not just what feels good in the moment. Over time, your environment becomes an extension of your discipline. It stops being something that drains you and starts being something that strengthens you. When you align your surroundings with your goals, discipline stops feeling like a daily struggle and starts becoming a natural rhythm. You're no longer trying to force yourself to act. You're simply responding to a space and energy that makes the right actions easier, more automatic, and more fulfilling.